For over 200 years, the United States Mint has produced billions upon billions of coins. They pass through our hands, we toss them into jars, we spend them on coffee, and we never think twice. But sometimes, just sometimes, the machine makes a mistake. And in the world of coin collecting, a mistake isn't a flaw. It is a treasure. It is a secret waiting to be found, and if you are lucky enough to find it, it changes everything. I want you to stop what you are doing right now. I want you to look at the screen, and I want you to listen very closely. Because today, we are not talking about just any coin. We are talking about a ghost. A phantom. A coin that should not exist, yet it does. The 1980 copper penny with no mint mark. You might be thinking, I have seen a 1980 penny before. It is just a penny. But you are wrong. You are looking, but you are not seeing. Most people go their entire lives holding a fortune in their hands and never knowing it. They spend their rent money on a cup of coffee, and they hand the cashier a coin worth enough to pay that rent for an entire year. That is the reality of the 1980 copper penny. Let us go back to the beginning. The year is 1980. The world is changing. The Cold War is at its peak. Technology is booming. But in the mints of Philadelphia and Denver, a quiet crisis is unfolding. The price of copper was skyrocketing. It was costing the government more to make a penny than the penny was actually worth. They were losing money on every single strike. So, what did they do? They changed the recipe. In 1982, they stopped using solid copper and switched to a core of zinc with a thin copper plating. But here is where the story gets dark, where the mystery begins. In 1980, there was a transition period. A chaos of metal. While they were preparing for the change, there were blanks left over. Solid copper blanks. And a small batch, a very small batch, slipped through the machinery at the Philadelphia Mint. And here is the detail that drives collectors insane. Philadelphia pennies never had a mint mark. That was normal. But the weight is the secret. A standard 1980 penny should weigh 3.1 grams if it is copper. But the collectors, the experts, the hidden coin authority, they look for something different. They look for the weight of history. They look for the solid copper composition that was used in the wrong year, the anomaly. Now, you might be sitting at home, maybe you are retired, maybe you are looking for a hobby, maybe you are thinking about what you are leaving behind for your grandchildren. You need to understand the power of this specific coin. This is not just about the metal. It is about the hunt. It is about proving that in a world of digital noise, real value is still hidden in the palm of your hand. Think about the people who have found this coin. They are not billionaires. They are ordinary people. A widow sorting through her late husband's change jar. A grandfather checking the coins he saved from his first paycheck. They were not looking for a payday, they were looking for a memory. And they found a jackpot. I am going to tell you the truth about the 1980 copper no mint mark penny. The truth that other channels are too afraid to tell you. The value of this coin is not just printed in a book. It is decided at auction. It is decided by the hunger of the collector. A 1980 penny in perfect condition, with the deep, rich luster of pure copper, if it is certified by a grading service, if it is the right variety, if the strike is sharp and the surface is pristine, it can command hundreds. It can command thousands. And in a high-grade, red luster state, it has sold for over $10,000. $10,000. For a coin that says 1 cent. That is the irony. That is the magic. It is not about what the government says it is worth, it is about what the market knows it is worth. But why am I telling you this today? Why does this matter to you right now? Because this channel is not about making you watch a video. It is about changing the way you see the world. Every time you hear the clink of change in your pocket, I want your heart to beat a little faster. Every time you see a penny on the street, I want you to pick it up, not because you are superstitious, but because you are smart. Imagine the feeling. Imagine the moment. You are sitting at your kitchen table. The lights are bright. You have a magnet in your hand, a simple magnet. You know that zinc pennies from after 1982 will be attracted to a magnet? It is true. The copper plating covers the zinc, but the zinc core is magnetic. But a true copper penny? It will not stick. So, you take your 1980 penny. You hold the magnet to it. Nothing. No pull. Your hand starts to shake. You put it on a digital scale. You wait for the numbers to stop moving. 3.1 grams. Exactly. Your heart is pounding now. You realize you are holding the anomaly. You are holding the copper giant. You are holding a down payment on a car, a mortgage payment, or a vacation you always dreamed of. That feeling, that adrenaline rush, is why we do this. It is better than any lottery ticket because the odds are in your favor. The lottery is a dream, but this is a fact. Do not listen to the people who tell you it is just a penny. Those are the same people who threw away Bitcoin in 2010. Those are the same people who sold their vintage cars for scrap metal. They are blind to the value of history. They are blind to the value of mistakes. In the coin world, mistakes make millionaires. Now, I know why you are here. You are not like everyone else. You have patience. You have wisdom. You have earned your right to know these secrets. The 65-plus generation, you understand that value takes time. You understand that real things last. You remember a time when money had weight. You remember the feel of silver in your hand. The 1980 copper penny is a bridge to that time. It is a relic of a hard-working America. It is the coin your father carried, the coin your mother saved. I want you to protect yourself. I want you to protect your family. The economy goes up, the economy goes down. Banks can fail. Digital money can vanish with a click. But metal? Physical copper? That is real. It has been valuable since the Romans. It will be valuable when we are gone. Having a hoard of solid copper pennies is not just a collection, it is a hedge. It is a safety net. And here is the secret that the big coin dealers don't want you to know. They want you to think you need to be rich to start. They want to sell you overpriced gold and silver. But the copper market? The 1980 penny? That is the people's market. You can find your fortune in a roll of pennies from the bank. You can find it in the cup holder of your car. You can find it in the jar on top of your dresser. The entry fee is 1 cent. The return is infinite. Let's talk about the hunt. If you want to find this coin, you need to know what you are looking for. Listen carefully. I am going to give you the blueprint. First, the year. 1980, you must see the date clearly. It must be 1980. Second, the mint mark. You must look beneath the date. If you see a tiny letter, D, or S, that is good, it is a coin, but it is not the ghost. The ghost has nothing. A blank space. A void. It was minted in Philadelphia, which used no mark. But the rarity of the copper composition in that year is what makes the blank void so valuable. Third, the weight. As I said, it must feel heavy. It must feel dense. If you have a scale, it must read 3.1 grams. If it reads 2.5 grams, it is zinc, and it is worthless. It is just a regular penny. Fourth, the sound. This is the old-timer trick. Drop a regular modern penny on a hard table. You hear a dull clink or tick. It sounds cheap because it is cheap, it is zinc. Now, drop a pre-1982 copper penny. You hear a ring. A musical tone. It sounds like a bell. It sounds like money. That sound is the sound of solid metal. Listen to that sound in your mind. That is the sound of value. That is the sound of the 1980 copper no mint mark penny. Now, let us talk about the grading. If you find this coin in your change, it will likely have wear. It is circulated. That is okay. Even a circulated 1980 copper penny can be worth a significant premium, especially if it is verified. But if you have one that is uncirculated, one that has that bright, shiny, orange-red glow like a new penny, that is where the mortgage money lies. That is where the MS-65 red grade comes in. Collectors fight over those. They go to war at auction houses for those. You need to get it certified. You need to send it to PCGS or NGC. These are the grading companies. They put it in a plastic slab. They verify its authenticity. When a coin is in a slab, its value skyrockets. Why? Because it proves you are not lying. It proves the coin is the real deal. A slab 1980 copper penny is a trophy. If you find one, do not clean it. Whatever you do, do not polish it. Do not rub it with a cloth. Do not use vinegar. Cleaning a coin destroys its value. It scratches the surface. It removes the natural patina. A cleaned coin is a ruined coin. You want the dirt. You want the age. That is what proves it is real. I am speaking to you today not as a YouTuber, but as a friend. Someone who cares about your financial future. Someone who knows that retirement can be scary. I know you worry about running out of money. I know you worry about leaving nothing behind for your kids and grandkids. The 1980 copper penny is a way to fight back. It is a way to take control. You don't need a stockbroker. You don't need a financial advisor. You just need your eyes and your hands. You need to start checking your change. Think about the story you will tell. You find this coin. You get it graded. You sell it for a profit that makes your neighbors jealous. Or you keep it. You pass it down. You tell your grandchild, this little penny paid for our house. They won't believe you. They will look at this little piece of metal and see a miracle. That is what this is. A miracle. The other channels. They will show you a list of coins. They will talk fast and show flashy graphics. But they don't explain the soul of the coin. They don't explain the history of the 1980 mint chaos. They don't explain the thrill of the hunt. I am giving you the full picture. I am opening the vault. We are looking for the 1980 copper penny with no mint mark. It is a masterpiece of error. It is a piece of American industry. And it is out there. It is waiting. It could be in a bank roll wrapped in paper. It could be under a couch cushion. It could be in that old coffee can in the garage. You have been saving these coins for years, thinking they were just cluttering your space. But you were actually building a treasure chest without even knowing it. You need to go check. Right now. I want you to pause this video and go get your jar of pennies. Dump them out. Look at the dates. Look for 1980. But wait, don't pause it yet. Let me finish the story. The story of the no mint mark is a story of confusion. In 1980, the Denver Mint made coins with a D. The San Francisco Mint made proof coins with an S. But Philadelphia, the mother mint, the original mint, the one founded in 1792, made coins with nothing. Why? Because for nearly 2 centuries, Philadelphia was the main hub. It didn't need a signature. It was the standard. But by 1980, the P mint mark was starting to appear on other denominations, like the nickel. This created a perfect storm. People started hoarding Philadelphia pennies because they thought they were rare, just because they lacked a mark. Most of them were wrong, most of them were common. But a specific subset, with the specific copper weight and the specific absence of the mark, became the king. And here is the detail that will keep you up at night. The transition error. Some say a batch of 1980 dies, meant for copper blanks, were accidentally used on the new zinc planchets, or vice versa. This created a transitional error. A coin that has the date 1980 but the metal of a different era. That is the Grail. I have been collecting for decades. I have seen fortunes made and lost. I have seen people walk into coin shops with a sock full of silver and walk out with a check that changed their lives. But the 1980 copper penny? It is the sleeper. It is the quiet assassin. It is the coin that everyone overlooks because it is not silver, and it is not gold. It is just copper. But in the world of numismatics, copper is the everyman's hero. So, what do you do next? You educate yourself. You watch this video again. You take notes. You become the expert in your family. When your friends are talking about the stock market crashing, you smile. You know that your wealth is hidden. It is safe. It is tangible. We are living in uncertain times. The news is full of fear. But there is a calm in knowing the value of physical assets. There is a peace in sorting through a pile of pennies, listening for that ring. It is therapeutic. It is meditative. And sometimes, just sometimes, it is extremely profitable. The 1980 no mint mark penny. Say it to yourself. No mint mark. That is the secret password. That is the key to the vault. I want you to imagine an auction. It is a prestigious event. Well-dressed men and women are holding paddles. A coin is displayed on a large screen. It is a 1980 penny. It is glowing red. The auctioneer starts the bidding at $100. The paddles go up. 200. 500. 1,000. 2,000. 5,000. The room is silent. All eyes are on this tiny piece of copper. The gavel falls. Sold. For $7,500. And you found it in a roll of cents. You paid 1 cent. That is the profit margin. That is the dream. This is not a fairy tale. This happens. It happened last year. It will happen next year. The only question is, will it happen to you? Will you be the next success story? Will you be the one who comments, I found one and it changed my life? I hope so. I truly do. Because this channel, this community, is built on the success of the little guy. We don't cater to the millionaire dealers. We cater to you. The person at home, sitting in their chair, looking at the screen, feeling that spark of hope. That is why I am here. That is why I make these videos. The 1980 copper penny no mint mark is more than a coin. It is a symbol. It is proof that the system isn't always perfect. It is proof that mistakes can be beautiful. It is proof that if you look closely enough, if you pay attention, you can find incredible value in the things everyone else ignores. So, as we come to the end of this video, I have a task for you. A mission. Go to your wallet. Go to your dresser. Go to your piggy bank. Take out every single 1980 penny you can find. Hold them in your hand. Weigh them. Listen to them. Look at the space where the mint mark should be. Is it empty? Is it copper? If it is, hold on to it. Do not spend it. Go to a coin dealer. Get it checked. The hunt begins today. The hunt for the 1980 copper no mint mark penny. Now, I know you have choices. You can watch 100 other videos. You can scroll past. But you and I both know you are not like the rest. You are a hunter. You are a searcher. You are someone who understands that value hides in plain sight. And I want to thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for taking this journey into the world of the 1980 no mint mark. This is the Hidden Coin Authority, and I want you to stay tuned, because the next coin we talk about will be even more shocking. The next coin we talk about will be the one that the government tried to destroy. Do not miss it. Check your change. Check your drawers. The fortune is there. The 1980 copper penny with no mint mark. Find it. Keep it. Cherish it. Because it is the last of its kind. There is a secret sitting in the pockets of America right now. It has been sitting there for over 40 years. It has been passed from cashier to customer, from vending machine to coin jar, from hand to hand, and almost no one has ever stopped to look at it. Almost no one has ever realized what they were holding. But you are about to know the truth. You are about to learn the story of a coin that was never supposed to exist, yet it slipped through the cracks of the United States Mint and ended up in circulation. It is the 1981 copper penny with no mint mark. You may be thinking, I have seen 1981 pennies before. They are everywhere. And you would be right. Most of them are worthless. Most of them are just copper-plated zinc. But there is a ghost hiding among them. A heavy ghost. A solid ghost. A coin that carries the weight of pure copper in a year when the mint was desperately trying to move away from copper. This is not a fairy tale. This is not a myth. This is the reality of the 1981 no mint mark copper penny, and if you find the right one, you are not looking at a cent. You are looking at a jackpot. Let us go back to the beginning. The year is 1981. The United States is in a period of transition. The price of copper had exploded. It was becoming too expensive to produce pennies. The government was losing money on every single coin they struck. They knew they had to change the metal. They knew they had to switch to zinc. But the machinery, the old presses, the old dies, the old blanks, they were still in the building. And in the chaos of that transition, something beautiful happened. A mistake. A beautiful, valuable mistake. The Philadelphia Mint in 1981 was producing billions of pennies. Philadelphia coins never carried a mint mark. That was their tradition. But here is where the story gets interesting. A small number of planchets, the blank discs of metal that are fed into the coin press, were left over from the old copper era. They were heavy. They were solid. They were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. And somehow, they got mixed into the production line. They were struck with the 1981 date. And they were released into the wild. Now, the average person cannot tell the difference. They see a penny. They spend it. But you are not the average person. You are a hunter. You are a seeker. You are someone who understands that real value hides in plain sight. And that is why you are here. That is why you are listening to every single word I am saying. The 1981 copper penny with no mint mark is one of the most misunderstood coins in American history. Most collectors overlook it. They focus on 1982. They know that 1982 was the official year of the change. They know that 1982 had both copper and zinc varieties. But they forget about 1981. They forget that the mint was already experimenting. They forget that the transition was already underway behind closed doors. That is the secret. The 1981 copper penny is a transitional error. It is a coin that was struck with the wrong metal. It is a piece of history that proves the mint was not as organized as they wanted you to believe. And because most people ignore it, the supply is tiny. The demand is growing. And the value is climbing. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine you are sitting at your kitchen table. You have a jar of old pennies in front of you. You start sorting through them. Your fingers are dusty. Your eyes are focused. You see a 1981 penny. You flip it over. No mint mark beneath the date. Just blank space. You feel the weight. It feels heavier than it should. Your heart begins to beat a little faster. You pull out a digital scale. You place the coin on it. 3.1 grams. Exactly 3.1 grams. A zinc penny would weigh only 2.5 grams. But this one weighs 3.1. This is solid copper. This is the one. That feeling, that moment of discovery, is worth more than the coin itself. It is the thrill of the hunt. It is the proof that you are smarter than the system. It is the reward for paying attention when everyone else was asleep. The 1981 copper penny with no mint mark can turn a boring afternoon into a life-changing event. Now let us talk about value. You want to know what it is worth. A regular 1981 penny is worth 1 cent. It is a piece of zinc with a thin copper wash. It is common. It is everywhere. But a genuine 1981 copper penny with no mint mark is a different animal entirely. In circulated condition, it can sell for a significant premium. Collectors are always looking for this coin because it fills a gap in their collections. But if you find one in uncirculated condition, if you find one with that bright, original, orange-red luster, the value can explode. We are talking about hundreds of dollars. We are talking about thousands of dollars in the highest grades. There are reports of high-grade 1981 copper pennies selling for over $4,000 at auction. $4,000 for a coin that says 1 cent. That is the power of rarity. That is the power of a mistake. And here is the thing. You can still find this coin in circulation. It is still out there. People are spending it every single day without knowing what they have. It is sitting in cash registers. It is sitting in bank rolls. It is sitting in the cup holders of cars. It is sitting in the pockets of coats that have not been worn in years. The 1981 copper penny is a sleeping giant, and it is waiting for you to wake it up. You need to know how to identify it. Listen closely, because this is the blueprint. First, check the date. It must be 1981. Second, check the mint mark. It must be blank. Nothing beneath the date. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. It must be from Philadelphia, and Philadelphia used no mark. Third, weigh it. This is the most important step. A genuine copper penny weighs 3.1 grams. A zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams. The difference is massive. If you have a scale, use it. If you do not have a scale, use your senses. The copper penny feels heavier. It feels denser. Fourth, listen to the sound. Drop the coin on a hard surface. A zinc penny makes a dull, flat clink. It sounds cheap because it is cheap. But a copper penny makes a ringing sound. It sounds like a tiny bell. It sounds like money. That ring is the sound of solid metal. That ring is the sound of value. Fifth, look at the edge. If you see a dark, grayish stripe running through the middle of the edge, that is zinc. That is a modern coin. But if the edge is solid brown, solid copper, all the way through, you have found a copper penny. These are simple tests. Anyone can do them. You do not need to be a professional coin dealer. You just need to pay attention. You just need to look. The 1981 copper penny with no mint mark is not hiding. It is right there in front of you. You just have to open your eyes. There is something else you need to know. Do not clean this coin. If you find one, do not polish it. Do not scrub it. Do not dip it in vinegar. Do not use a pencil eraser on it. Cleaning a coin destroys its value. It removes the original surface. It scratches the metal. It turns a valuable coin into junk. You want the coin to be exactly as it was when it left the mint. You want the dirt. You want the patina. You want the original skin. That is what collectors pay for. That is what grading companies look for. If you find a 1981 copper penny with no mint mark, the first thing you should do is put it in a protective holder. A simple cardboard flip or a plastic capsule will do. Then, you should take it to a reputable coin dealer. Ask them to verify the weight. Ask them to verify the composition. If they confirm it is copper, you should consider sending it to a professional grading service. PCGS and NGC are the two biggest names in the industry. They will authenticate the coin. They will grade it. They will seal it in a tamper-proof slab. And once it is in that slab, its value will skyrocket. A slabbed coin is a trusted coin. A slabbed coin is a marketable coin. Now, I want to talk to you about why this matters. Why should you care about a 1981 penny? Why should you spend your time watching this video and searching through your change? Because we are living in uncertain times. The dollar is losing its value. Inflation is eating away at your savings. Banks are paying almost nothing in interest. The stock market is a roller coaster. But physical metal, real copper, real silver, real gold, that holds value. That has held value for thousands of years. The 1981 copper penny is not just a collectible. It is a hedge. It is a way to protect your wealth. Every copper penny you pull out of circulation is a tiny piece of security. It is a tiny piece of history. And in the case of the 1981 no mint mark, it is a tiny piece of a very rare mistake. Think about the people who found rare coins in the past. The people who found the 1909 South VDB Lincoln Center. The people who found the 1955 doubled die. The people who found the 1943 copper penny. They were not rich. They were ordinary people who just happened to look. They happened to check their change. And their lives changed forever. You have that same opportunity. The 1981 copper penny with no mint mark is your chance to join that club. I know there are other videos out there. Other channels. They will show you flashy graphics. They will shout at you. They will promise you millions. But I am not here to shout. I am here to tell you the truth. The truth is that the 1981 copper penny is rare. The truth is that it is valuable. The truth is that it is still out there waiting to be found. And the truth is that you deserve to know about it. This channel, this community, is built on trust. We are the Hidden Coin Authority. We do not deal in hype. We deal in facts. We deal in history. We deal in the real, tangible value that sits in the palm of your hand. And we want you to succeed. We want you to find that coin. We want you to experience that thrill. We want you to secure that profit. So, here is your mission. Today, when you finish watching this video, I want you to go find every 1981 penny you can. Check your pockets. Check your drawers. Check your piggy banks. Check your coin jars. Look at each one. Weigh them. Listen to them. Look for that blank space beneath the date. Look for that solid copper edge. You might be holding the treasure right now and not even know it. The 1981 copper penny with no mint mark. It is a whisper from the past. It is a secret from the mint. It is a fortune hiding in plain sight. And now, you know about it. You are no longer blind. You are no longer one of the people who spends a rare coin without a second thought. You are a hunter. You are a collector. You are one of us. So, do not wait. Do not let this opportunity slip through your fingers. The coin is out there. It is waiting. And it could be yours. Check your change. Find the copper. Secure the fortune. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for being part of the Hidden Coin Authority. Stay tuned, because the next coin we reveal will be even more explosive. The next coin we talk about will be the one that the government thought they had destroyed. The one that survived against all odds. You will not want to miss it. The United States government made a decision in 1982 that changed the history of American money forever. It was a decision that was supposed to be simple. It was supposed to save money. But instead, it created chaos. It created confusion. And most importantly, it created one of the most legendary and valuable error coins in the history of the United States Mint. I am talking about the 1982 copper penny with no mint mark. This is not just a coin. This is a piece of American history that should not exist. It is a ghost. It is a mistake. It is a treasure that is still hiding in pockets, jars, drawers, and cash registers all across this country right now. And if you find the right one, you are not looking at 1 cent. You are looking at a fortune. Let us go back to the beginning. The year is 1982. The price of copper had become a national crisis. It was costing the government more than 1 cent to make a 1 cent coin. They were losing millions of dollars every single day. They had no choice. They had to change the composition of the penny. They had to stop using solid copper and start using zinc coated with a thin layer of copper. But here is where the story becomes incredible. The transition was not clean. It was messy. It was rushed. The Philadelphia Mint was producing billions of pennies that year. Some of the old copper planchets, the blank metal discs, were still in the hoppers. Some of the new zinc planchets were already loaded in. And in the middle of this confusion, a small number of 1982 pennies were struck on solid copper planchets. And of those copper planchets, a small number were struck without a mint mark. Now, you need to understand the significance of this. In 1982, there are 7 major varieties of the Lincoln cent. There are large date and small date varieties. There are copper and zinc varieties. There are Denver mint and Philadelphia mint varieties. The rarest and most valuable of all of them is the 1982 D small date copper penny. But the 1982 Philadelphia small date copper penny with no mint mark is also a legend. It is also a coin that can change your life. Most people do not know this. Most people spend these coins every day without a second thought. They see a 1982 penny and they toss it aside. But you are not most people. You are here because you want to know the truth. You want to know the secrets that the coin dealers do not want to tell you. You want to know how to find a treasure in your own pocket. Let us talk about the weight. This is the key. A 1982 copper penny weighs 3.1 grams. A 1982 zinc penny weighs only 2.5 grams. That difference of 0.6 grams is the difference between worthless and priceless. It is the difference between a regular coin and a retirement fund. You need a scale. A simple digital scale that measures in grams. Go to your local store. Buy one for a few dollars. It could be the best investment you ever make. Take every 1982 penny you can find. Put them on the scale one by one. If it reads 3.1 grams, your heart should start beating faster. If it reads 3.1 grams and there is no mint mark beneath the date, you might be holding one of the rarest coins of the modern era. But wait. There is more. You also need to check the date. The 1982 pennies come in 2 distinct styles. There is the large date and the small date. The small date is the rarer variety. The numbers are smaller and more delicate. The top of the number 8 is more rounded. The large date has bolder, bigger numbers. The top of the 8 is flatter. You need to compare them side by side. Once you see the difference, you will never unsee it. The ultimate prize is the 1982 small date copper penny with no mint mark. That is the coin that collectors are hunting for every single day. That is the coin that has sold for thousands and thousands of dollars in high grade. In perfect, uncirculated condition, with the original red luster intact, this coin has commanded prices that would make your jaw drop. We are talking about 5 figures. We are talking about a coin that says 1 cent being worth more than a year of hard work for many people. Now, why am I telling you this? Why am I giving away these secrets for free? Because this channel is different. This channel is the Hidden Coin Authority. We are here to help the little guy. We are here to help the person sitting at home, worried about their bills, worried about their future. We are here to tell you that there is hope. There is value hiding in plain sight. And you can find it. Imagine the feeling. You are sorting through a roll of pennies from the bank. You have checked 50 coins already. They are all zinc. They are all light. They are all worthless. Then you pick up the 51st coin. It feels different. It feels heavy. You place it on the scale. 3.1 grams. Your hands start to shake. You look at the date. 1982, you look at the mint mark. Nothing. Just a blank space. You look at the size of the date. It is the small date. You have found the Grail. You have found the 1982 small date copper penny with no mint mark. In that moment, you are not just holding a coin. You are holding proof that mistakes can be beautiful. You are holding a piece of American chaos. You are holding a down payment on a new car. You are holding a college fund for your grandchild. You are holding security. That is the power of this coin. I want you to think about the people who have found this coin before. They are not millionaires. They are ordinary people like you and me. A retired school teacher found one in a jar of old pennies she had saved for decades. A truck driver found one in a toll booth change cup. A grandmother found one in a piggy bank at a garage sale. They were not looking for riches. They were just paying attention. And that attention paid off in a way that changed their lives. You have that same chance. Right now. The 1982 copper penny with no mint mark is still out there. It is still circulating. It is still being spent by people who do not know what they have. It could be in your pocket right now. It could be in your car. It could be in the jar on top of your refrigerator. You just have to look. Here is another secret. Do not clean this coin. If you find one, do not polish it. Do not rub it. Do not use any chemicals on it. Cleaning a coin destroys its value. It removes the original surface. It leaves scratches that can never be repaired. A cleaned coin is a ruined coin. You want the natural patina. You want the original red luster. You want the coin exactly as it was when it left the mint in 1982. That is what collectors pay for. That is what grading companies certify. And speaking of grading companies, if you find this coin, you need to get it authenticated. PCGS and NGC are the two biggest names in the industry. They will examine the coin under magnification. They will verify the weight. They will verify the composition. They will assign a grade. And they will seal it in a hard plastic holder. That holder is a guarantee. It proves the coin is real. It proves the coin is rare. A slabbed 1982 small date copper penny with no mint mark is a trophy. It is a liquid asset that you can sell anywhere in the world. Now, let us talk about the market. The demand for this coin is massive. Every serious Lincoln cent collector needs this coin to complete their set. They cannot finish without it. They are competing with each other. They are bidding against each other at auctions. And the supply is tiny. Very few of these coins have been found. That is the formula for explosive value. Low supply. High demand. It is simple economics. The 1982 copper penny with no mint mark is not just a coin. It is an investment. It is a piece of history that will only become more valuable as time goes on. Each year, more of these coins are found. Each year, more people learn about them. Each year, the demand increases. But the supply never increases. The mint is not making any more of them. They are frozen in time. They are limited. They are rare. And that rarity is your opportunity. You need to act now. You need to start searching. You need to tell your family and friends. You need to check every single penny that passes through your hands. The next one you touch could be the one. The next one could be the jackpot. I know you have watched other videos. I know you have heard other people talk about coins. But this is different. This is the truth. This is the real deal. The 1982 copper penny with no mint mark is one of the most important coins of the 20th century. It is a coin that proves the government made a mistake. It is a coin that proves that value can be found in the most unexpected places. And I want you to be the one who finds it. I want you to experience that rush of adrenaline when you see the scale read 3.1 grams. I want you to feel the weight of history in your hand. I want you to secure that profit. I want you to share your success story with this community. Because that is what we are. We are a community of hunters. We are a community of seekers. We are the people who do not accept things at face value. We look deeper. We dig deeper. We find the treasure that everyone else ignores. So, here is your mission. Take out your pennies. Sort them. Weigh them. Check the dates. Check the mint marks. Look for the 1982. Look for the copper. Look for the blank space where the mint mark should be. And look for the small date. It is a lot to remember, but I know you can do it. I know you are smart. I know you are determined. The 1982 copper penny with no mint mark. Say it out loud. Let it sink in. This is your target. This is your goal. This is the coin that could change everything. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of the Hidden Coin Authority. Stay tuned, because the next video will reveal an even more dangerous secret. A coin that was never supposed to leave the mint. A coin that the government denies even exists. It will shock you. It will amaze you. And it will make you check your change every single day for the rest of your life. But for now, focus on the 1982. Focus on the copper. Focus on the no mint mark. It is out there. It is waiting. Go get it. Good luck, and happy hunting. It is a lie so subtle, so quiet, that almost no one has ever questioned it. The lie is this, that every penny made after 1982 is the same. That every penny made after 1982 is made of zinc. That every penny made after 1982 is worthless. But today, I am going to shatter that lie. I am going to reveal a secret that the United States Mint hoped would stay buried forever. I am talking about the 1985 copper penny with no mint mark. Now, you might be confused. You might be thinking, wait a minute. The mint stopped making copper pennies in 1982. They switched to zinc. A 1985 penny cannot be copper. And that is exactly what they want you to think. That is exactly what the coin dealers want you to think. But the truth is far more complicated. The truth is far more exciting. The truth is that mistakes happen. And in 1985, a mistake happened that created one of the rarest, most mysterious, and most valuable error coins in modern American history. Let us go back to that year. 1985, the economy was booming. Technology was advancing. The United States Mint was producing billions of pennies at the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. By this time, the switch to zinc was supposed to be complete. The copper planchets, the solid blanks of 95% copper, were supposed to be gone. They were supposed to have been melted down. But the mint is a massive industrial operation. It is full of machines, hoppers, bins, and conveyor belts. And sometimes, things get lost. Sometimes, a stray copper planchet from the old days gets stuck in a corner of a bin. Sometimes, it falls behind a machine. And sometimes, years later, it gets dislodged and falls into the production line. That is what happened in 1985. A small number of solid copper planchets, left over from the pre-1982 era, found their way into the coin press. They were struck with the 1985 date. They were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which means they carried no mint mark. And they were released into circulation. This is not a theory. This is not a myth. This is a documented reality. The 1985 copper penny with no mint mark exists. It is real. It weighs 3.1 grams. It has the solid brown edge of pure copper. It rings like a bell when you drop it. And it is worth a fortune. Now, let us talk about why this coin is so special. It is special because it should not exist. The mint had officially ended copper penny production in 1982. They had moved on. They were making zinc coins by the billions. So, when a 1985 penny made of copper appears, it is an anomaly. It is a ghost from the past. It is a coin that defies the official record. Collectors go crazy for anomalies like this. They love coins that break the rules. They love coins that tell a story of industrial chaos and human error. The 1985 copper penny with no mint mark is the ultimate story. It is a coin that survived against all odds. It is a coin that proves the mint is not perfect. And it is a coin that can turn an ordinary person into a winner. Imagine this scenario. You are sitting at home. You have a jar of pennies that you have been saving for years. You decide to sort through them. You are looking for old dates. You are looking for weak cents. But then you notice a 1985 penny. It looks different. It looks thicker. It looks heavier. You pick it up. It feels heavy in your hand. You drop it on the table. It rings. Your heart starts to beat faster. You run to your scale. You place the coin on it. 3.1 grams. Not 2.5 grams. 3.1, that is the weight of copper. That is the weight of a coin that should not exist. You look at the edge. It is solid brown. No zinc stripe. You look at the date. 1985, you look at the mint mark. Nothing. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just a blank space beneath the date. You have found it. You have found a 1985 copper penny with no mint mark. You are holding a piece of history. You are holding a rare treasure. And you are probably wondering, what is it worth? That is the question everyone asks. And the answer is staggering. In circulated condition, this coin is worth hundreds of dollars. That is right. Hundreds of dollars for a coin that says 1 cent. But in uncirculated condition, in pristine, red luster condition, this coin can sell for thousands. There are reports of high-grade 1985 copper pennies selling for over $5,000 at auction. $5,000 for a penny. That is the power of rarity. That is the power of a mistake. And here is the most exciting part. These coins are still out there. They are still circulating. They are still being spent at face value by people who have no idea what they are holding. They are in bank rolls. They are in vending machine change. They are in the cup holders of cars. They are in the pockets of coats in thrift stores. The 1985 copper penny with no mint mark is hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with the knowledge and the patience to find it. You now have that knowledge. You are now part of an elite group of people who know the truth. You know that the mint made a mistake in 1985. You know that copper pennies exist beyond 1982. You know how to identify them. You know how to weigh them. You know how to listen for that distinctive ring. But I want you to be careful. There are people out there who will try to fool you. There are people who will try to pass off zinc pennies as copper. That is why you must weigh the coin. That is why you must check the edge. A genuine copper penny weighs 3.1 grams. A zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams. The difference is clear on a scale. Do not trust your eyes alone. Trust the science. Trust the weight. Also, do not clean the coin. I have said this before, and I will say it again. Cleaning a coin destroys its value. It removes the original surface. It scratches the metal. It ruins the patina. If you find a 1985 copper penny, put it in a safe place. Put it in a coin holder. Take it to a professional coin dealer. Ask them to verify the weight and composition. Then, if they confirm it is copper, send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. A slabbed 1985 copper penny with no mint mark is a trophy. It is a verified, authenticated, marketable asset. It will sell for top dollar at any auction. It will be the envy of every collector who sees it. It will be proof that you were smart enough to recognize value when everyone else ignored it. Now, let me speak to you from the heart. I know why you are here. You are not here for entertainment. You are here because you are looking for an opportunity. You are here because you understand that the world is changing. The dollar is losing value. Inflation is rising. The cost of living is going up. You need an edge. You need a way to protect yourself and your family. The 1985 copper penny with no mint mark is that edge. It is a tangible asset that you can hold in your hand. It is not a digital number on a screen. It is real. It is physical. It has intrinsic value because it is made of copper. And copper has been valuable for thousands of years. It will be valuable for thousands more. Every single copper penny you pull out of circulation is a small victory. It is a small piece of security. And if you find the 1985 copper penny, it is a massive victory. It is a jackpot. I want you to start your hunt today. Right now. Do not wait. Go through your change. Check your jars. Ask your bank for rolls of pennies. Sort through them with a scale and a magnet. A magnet will not stick to copper. It will stick to zinc. That is another test you can use. A genuine copper penny is not magnetic. A zinc penny is magnetic. Use every tool at your disposal. The 1985 copper penny with no mint mark is out there. It is waiting for you. It is a secret that the government does not want you to know. It is a mistake that they hoped would disappear. But it did not disappear. It survived. And it could be in your pocket right now. Think about the bragging rights. Think about the story you will tell your friends and family. I found a 1985 copper penny. I sold it for thousands of dollars. They will be amazed. They will be jealous. They will ask you how you did it. And you can tell them. You can tell them about the hidden coin authority. You can tell them about the secrets of the mint. This is not just about money. It is about knowledge. It is about power. It is about taking control of your financial future. It is about proving that you are not a victim of the system. You are a hunter. You are a survivor. You are a winner. So, let us review. The target is the 1985 copper penny with no mint mark. It weighs 3.1 grams. It has a solid copper edge. It is not magnetic. It rings when dropped. It has no mint mark beneath the date. It is rare. It is valuable. And it is still in circulation. If you find one, do not spend it. Protect it. Verify it. Grade it. Sell it. Or keep it. Keep it as a family heirloom. Pass it down to your children. Tell them the story of how you found a treasure in your spare change. This is your moment. This is your opportunity. The 1985 copper penny with no mint mark is calling to you. Answer the call. Start searching. Start hunting. And do not stop until you find it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for trusting the Hidden Coin Authority. We are here to help you. We are here to guide you. We are here to reveal the secrets that others keep hidden. Stay tuned for the next video. It will be even more explosive. It will reveal a coin that is so rare, so valuable, that most people refuse to believe it exists. You will not want to miss it. It is a secret that the United States Mint never wanted you to find. It is a secret that coin dealers whisper about in back rooms and at auction houses. It is the 1987 copper penny with no mint mark. You are probably thinking, that is impossible. The mint stopped making copper pennies in 1982. By 1987, every penny was made of zinc. And you would be right, if the mint was perfect. But the mint is not perfect. The mint is a factory. It is full of machines, conveyor belts, bins, hoppers, and human workers. And in a factory, mistakes happen. Big mistakes. Expensive mistakes. Mistakes that leak out into the world and become treasures. The 1987 copper penny with no mint mark is one of those treasures. It is a ghost. It is an anomaly. It is a coin that defies logic, defies the official record, and defies the odds. And it is still out there, waiting to be found by someone who knows what to look for. Let me take you back to 1987. The world was different. Ronald Reagan was in the White House. The stock market was booming. Gas was cheap. And the United States Mint was churning out billions of pennies at the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. By this time, the transition to zinc was complete. The old copper planchets were supposed to be gone. They were supposed to have been removed from the building years ago. But here is the thing about massive industrial facilities. They are not clean. They are not organized. They are not perfect. In the corners of the mint, in the dark spaces behind the machines, old copper planchets sat forgotten. They were left over from the 1970s and early 1980s. They were solid copper. They weighed 3.1 grams. And somehow, in 1987, a small number of these planchets got mixed into the production line. They were fed into the coin press. They were struck with the 1987 date. They were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which means they carried no mint mark. And they were released into circulation. No one noticed. No one checked. No one stopped it. The mistake was made, and the treasure was born. Now, let me be clear. This is not a common coin. It is not something you will find in every roll of pennies. It is rare. Extremely rare. And that rarity is what makes it so valuable. A regular 1987 penny is made of zinc. It weighs 2.5 grams. It has a dull, grayish edge. It sounds cheap when you drop it. But the 1987 copper penny is different. It weighs 3.1 grams. It has a solid brown edge. It rings like a bell when you drop it. It feels heavy and substantial in your hand. It feels like money. That feeling, that weight, is the signal. It is the clue. It is the proof that you are holding something special. And if you find one, you need to pay attention. I want you to imagine this moment. You are sorting through a pile of pennies at your kitchen table. You have been checking dates and mint marks for hours. You are getting tired. Your eyes are starting to blur. But then you pick up a 1987 penny. It feels different. It feels heavier than the others. You pause. You look at it closely. The date is 1987. There is no mint mark beneath the date. You flip it over. The edge is solid copper. No zinc stripe. Your heart begins to beat faster. You rush to your digital scale. You place the coin on it. The numbers flash. 3.1 grams. Exactly 3.1. It is copper. It is real. It is the 1987 copper penny with no mint mark. You have found a coin that should not exist. You have found a treasure. In that moment, you are no longer just a person sorting through change. You are a hunter. You are a discoverer. You are someone who has beaten the system. And that feeling is priceless. But let us talk about the actual price. What is this coin worth? In circulated condition, even with wear and tear, the 1987 copper penny with no mint mark can command a significant premium. Collectors are always looking for this coin. They need it to complete their collections. They are willing to pay good money for it. In uncirculated condition, with the original red luster still intact, the value explodes. We are talking about thousands of dollars. There are reports of high-grade examples selling for over $10,000 at major auction houses. $10,000. For a penny. A coin that was supposed to be worth 1 cent. That is the power of a mistake. That is the power of rarity. That is the power of knowledge. And here is the most exciting part. You can still find this coin in circulation. It is still out there. It is still being spent by people who have no idea what they are holding. It is in cash registers. It is in bank rolls. It is in the change you get from the grocery store. It is in the jar on top of your refrigerator. It is in the couch cushions. It is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. You just need to know how to look. And I am going to teach you right now. First, check the date. It must be 1987. Second, check the mint mark. It must be blank. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just empty space beneath the date. Third, weigh it. This is the most important step. A copper penny weighs 3.1 grams. A zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams. The difference is huge. You can feel it in your hand. You can see it on a scale. If you do not have a scale, get one. It is the best investment you will ever make. Fourth, check the edge. A zinc penny has a visible stripe of gray metal running through the middle of the edge. A copper penny has no stripe. It is solid brown all the way through. Fifth, listen to the sound. Drop the coin on a hard surface. A zinc penny makes a dull, flat clink. It sounds cheap. A copper penny makes a bright, musical ring. It sounds like a tiny bell. It sounds like value. These tests are simple. Anyone can do them. You do not need to be an expert. You just need to pay attention. You just need to care. And if you care, you can find the 1987 copper penny with no mint mark. There is something I need to warn you about. Do not clean this coin. Do not polish it. Do not scrub it. Do not dip it in any chemical. Cleaning a coin destroys its value. It removes the original surface. It leaves scratches that can never be repaired. A cleaned coin is a ruined coin. If you find one, put it in a protective holder immediately. Do not touch the surface with your bare fingers. Handle it by the edges. Treat it like the treasure it is. Then, take it to a reputable coin dealer. Ask them to verify the weight. Ask them to verify the composition. If they confirm it is copper, you should send it to PCGS or NGC. These are the professional grading companies. They will authenticate the coin. They will assign a grade. They will seal it in a tamper-proof plastic slab. Once it is slabbed, its value is locked in. It becomes a marketable asset that you can sell anywhere in the world. Now, let me speak to you directly. I know why you are here. You are not here for fluff. You are not here for hype. You are here because you are looking for an edge. You are here because you understand that the world is uncertain. The dollar is weakening. Prices are rising. The future is unpredictable. You need something real. You need something tangible. You need something that will hold its value no matter what happens. The 1987 copper penny with no mint mark is that something. It is real. It is physical. It is made of copper, a metal that has been valuable for thousands of years. It is also a collectible, a rarity that will only become more valuable as time goes on. It is a perfect storm of intrinsic value and collectible demand. And it is within your reach. You do not need to be rich to find it. You do not need special equipment. You just need change. You just need patience. You just need the knowledge that I am giving you right now. Think about the people who have found rare coins in the past. They were not special. They were ordinary people who happened to look. A farmer found a 1943 copper penny in his field. A schoolteacher found a 1955 double die in her lunch money. A retired mechanic found a 1974 aluminum penny in a jar of old coins. They were all ordinary people. They all just paid attention. And their lives changed. You can be one of those people. You can be the one who finds the 1987 copper penny with no mint mark. You can be the one who posts a comment on this video saying, "I found one, and it changed my life." I want to see that comment. I want to celebrate with you. I want to know that this knowledge helped you. Because that is what this channel is about. The Hidden Coin Authority is not about making money from views. It is about sharing secrets. It is about empowering you. It is about giving you the tools you need to succeed in the world of coin collecting. We are here to help you. We are here to guide you. We are here to reveal the things that others keep hidden. The 1987 copper penny with no mint mark is one of the greatest secrets in modern American coin collecting. It is a coin that should not exist. It is a coin that the government does not talk about. It is a coin that most people will never find because most people will never look. But you are different. You are here. You are watching. You are learning. And now, you are ready. Your mission is simple. Start checking your change. Start weighing your pennies. Start looking at the edges. Listen for the ring. Look for the blank space beneath the date. The 1987 copper penny is out there. It is waiting. It could be in your pocket right now. It could be in your next handful of change. Do not let it slip away. Do not spend it on a piece of gum. Do not toss it in a jar and forget about it. Claim it. Protect it. Profit from it. This is your moment. This is your opportunity. The 1987 copper penny with no mint mark is calling to you. Answer the call. Start the hunt. And do not stop until you find it. You may be sitting there thinking, that cannot be right. The mint stopped making copper pennies in 1982. By 1988, every penny was zinc. And that is what most people believe. That is what the books say. That is what the experts tell you. But the truth is darker. The truth is more mysterious. The truth is that mistakes were made. Big mistakes. Mistakes that escaped the mint and ended up in the hands of ordinary people. Let me take you back to the year 1988. The United States was in a period of growth and confidence. The Cold War was winding down. Technology was advancing. And the mint was producing pennies at a staggering rate. Billions and billions of them. The zinc planchets were flowing through the machines day and night. The copper era was officially over. But in the dark corners of the Philadelphia Mint, something was waiting. Old copper planchets. Solid discs of 95% copper and 5% zinc. Leftovers from the 1970s and early 1980s. They had been forgotten. They had been pushed aside. They had fallen behind equipment. They had been sitting there for years, gathering dust. But in 1988, one of those old copper planchets found its way into the production line. It was fed into the press. It was struck with the 1988 date. It was struck without a mint mark. And it was released into the wild. That is how the 1988 copper penny with no mint mark was born. It was an accident. A beautiful, valuable accident. And if you find one, you are holding proof that the system is not perfect. You are holding a piece of American history that was never supposed to reach the public. Now, let us talk about what makes this coin so special. It is all about the weight. A regular 1988 penny weighs 2.5 grams. It is made of zinc with a thin copper coating. It feels light. It feels cheap. It sounds dull when you drop it. But the 1988 copper penny weighs 3.1 grams. It feels heavy. It feels substantial. It rings like a bell when you drop it. That weight difference is the key. That weight difference is the secret. You need a scale. A simple digital scale that measures in grams. It will cost you a few dollars. But it could make you thousands. Take every 1988 penny you can find. Put them on the scale one by one. If it reads 2.5 grams, it is zinc. It is common. It is worth 1 cent. But if it reads 3.1 grams, your heart should start racing. If it reads 3.1 grams and there is no mint mark beneath the date, you might be holding the jackpot. But there is more. You also need to check the edge of the coin. Look at it closely. A zinc penny has a gray stripe running through the middle of the edge. That is the zinc core showing through the copper plating. But a true copper penny has no stripe. It is solid brown all the way through. It is pure. It is real. That is the test. That is the proof. And then there is the sound. The old-timer trick. Drop a regular 1988 penny on a hard table. It makes a flat, dead clink. It sounds like a piece of plastic. It sounds like nothing. Now drop a copper penny. It makes a ringing sound. A musical tone. It sounds like money. It sounds like history. That ring is the sound of solid metal. That ring is the sound of value. Now, let us talk about the value itself. What is a 1988 copper penny with no mint mark worth? In circulated condition, it is worth hundreds of dollars. Even if it has been passed around, even if it has scratches, even if it has wear, it is a rare error coin. Collectors want it. They need it. They will pay for it. But if you find one in uncirculated condition, if you find one with that bright, red-orange luster still intact, the value explodes. We are talking about thousands of dollars. We are talking about 5 figures. There are collectors out there who would pay a fortune for a high-grade example of this coin. It is a trophy. It is a centerpiece. It is a coin that completes a collection. And it is a coin that most collectors will never own because it is so rare. Imagine holding that kind of value in your hand. Imagine walking into a coin shop or an auction house and watching the experts' eyes widen when they see what you have. Imagine the check they write. Imagine what that money could do for you. Pay off bills. Help your children. Help your grandchildren. Secure your retirement. All from a penny. All from a mistake. All from paying attention. This is not a fantasy. This is a reality. The 1988 copper penny with no mint mark is out there right now. It is circulating. It is being spent at face value by people who have no idea what they have. It is in bank rolls. It is in vending machines. It is in the change jar at the gas station. It is in the pocket of a jacket at a thrift store. It is everywhere and nowhere. And you have the chance to find it. I know you have heard stories about rare coins. The 1909 SVDB. The 1955 double die. The 1943 copper penny. Those coins are legendary. They are worth millions. But they are nearly impossible to find today. They have been picked out of circulation decades ago. The 1988 copper penny is different. It is recent. It is modern. And it is still out there. That is the opportunity. That is the window. The window will not stay open forever. As more people learn about this coin, more people will be searching for it. The supply will dry up. The easy finds will disappear. That is why you need to start now. That is why you need to check your change today. Do not wait. Do not assume it is too late. It is not. The treasure is still buried. You just need to dig. And remember, do not clean the coin if you find it. This is critical. Do not polish it. Do not scrub it. Do not use toothpaste. Do not use vinegar. Do not use a pencil eraser. Cleaning a coin destroys the original surface. It leaves microscopic scratches. It ruins the patina. It can cut the value in half or more. You want the coin exactly as it left the mint. You want the original skin. You want the natural aging. That is what collectors pay for. If you find one, put it in a protective holder. A simple plastic flip or a hard plastic case. Handle it by the edges. Do not touch the front or back. Then take it to a professional coin dealer. Ask them to verify the weight. Ask them to verify the composition. If they confirm it is copper, ask them to recommend a grading service. PCGS and NGC are the best in the business. They will certify the coin. They will assign a grade. They will seal it in a tamper-proof slab. Once it is slabbed, it is safe. It is authenticated. It is liquid. You can sell it anywhere. Let me speak to you from the heart now. I know why you are watching this video. You are not just looking for entertainment. You are looking for hope. You are looking for a way to improve your situation. The economy is uncertain. Prices are rising. Savings are not what they used to be. You need something real. You need something that will hold its value. The 1988 copper penny with no mint mark is real. It is tangible. It is made of copper, which has been valuable for thousands of years. It is also a rare collectible. It has intrinsic value and collectible value. It is a double win. And it can be found for just 1 cent. That is the best risk to reward ratio you will ever find. Think about the people who have already found this coin. They are not special. They are not rich. They are ordinary people like you. A man in Ohio found one in a roll of pennies from his local bank. A woman in Texas found one in her husband's old coin jar. A teenager found one in his lunch money at school. They all had one thing in common. They looked. They paid attention. They knew what to look for. Now you know too. You have the knowledge. You have the tools. You have the information. The rest is up to you. This channel, the Hidden Coin Authority, is here to help you. We are here to reveal the secrets that the mainstream does not talk about. We are here to shine a light on the hidden treasures in your pocket. We are here to make you a smarter, richer, more confident collector. And we will not stop. We will keep revealing the coins that matter. The coins that are valuable. The coins that can change your life. So here is your mission. After this video ends, go get your pennies. Sort through them. Weigh them. Check the edges. Listen for the ring. Look at the date. 1988, look at the mint mark. Nothing. Just a blank space beneath the date. If the weight is 3.1 grams, you have found the ghost. You have found the treasure. The 1988 copper penny with no mint mark. Say it out loud. Let it sink in. This is your target. This is your goal. This is the coin that could turn your spare change into a small fortune. Do not let this opportunity pass you by. Start the hunt today. Start the hunt now. The coin is waiting. It is out there. It could be in your next handful of change. It could be in your pocket right now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of this community. We appreciate you. We value you. And we want you to succeed. Stay tuned for the next video. It will be even more shocking. It will reveal a coin that is so rare, so controversial, that it has been called the Holy Grail of modern coin collecting. You will not want to miss it. But for now, focus on the 1988. Focus on the copper. Focus on the no mint mark. You think you know pennies. You think they are all the same. You toss them in jars. You leave them on the ground. You ignore them in your pocket. But today, that ends. Today, you are going to learn the truth about a coin that was never supposed to exist. A coin that breaks the official record of the United States Mint. A coin that could be sitting in your change jar right now, waiting to change your life. Let us go back to the year 1989. The world was watching the Berlin Wall fall. The internet was just being born. And the United States Mint was producing pennies at an astonishing rate. By this time, every penny was supposed to be made of zinc. That is what the books say. That is what the experts claim. Zinc core, copper plating. 2.5 grams. Cheap. Light. Common. But hidden inside the massive industrial machines of the Philadelphia Mint, there was a secret. Old copper planchets. Solid discs of 95% copper and 5% zinc. Leftovers from the era before 1982. They had been forgotten. Lost behind machinery. Stuck in bins. They were relics of a bygone time. And in 1989, a small number of these copper planchets found their way into the coin press. They were struck with the 1989 date. They were struck with no mint mark, because Philadelphia never used one. And they were released into circulation. The mistake was made. The treasure was born. And no one noticed. No one stopped it. The 1989 copper penny with no mint mark entered the hands of the American public. And it has been there ever since. Now, let me tell you why this coin is so special. It is not just about the metal. It is about the impossibility. A 1989 penny made of copper should not exist. The mint had officially ended copper production in 1982. They had moved on. The machines were retooled. The planchets were changed. And yet, somehow, a few old copper blanks survived. They hid. They waited. And they struck. That is what makes this coin a legend. It is a ghost from the past. It is a mistake that proves the system is not perfect. It is a coin that collectors dream about. And it is still out there, in circulation, waiting to be found. Let us talk about how to identify it. This is the important part. You need to pay attention. You need to be sharp. First, check the date. It must be 1989. Second, check the mint mark. It must be blank. Nothing beneath the date. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just empty space. Third, and this is the most critical step, weigh the coin. A normal 1989 penny weighs 2.5 grams. It is zinc. It feels light. It feels almost like a toy. But a 1989 copper penny weighs 3.1 grams. It feels heavy. It feels dense. It feels like real money. You need a scale. A simple digital gram scale. They are cheap. You can buy one for less than $10. And it could help you find a coin worth thousands. Take every 1989 penny you can find. Weigh them. If it reads 2.5, it is trash. If it reads 3.1, your heart should start pounding. But do not stop there. Check the edge of the coin. Look at it closely. A zinc penny has a gray stripe running through the middle of the edge. That is the zinc core. But a copper penny has no stripe. It is solid brown. It is pure copper all the way through. That solid edge is the proof. That is the evidence. And then, listen. Drop the coin on a hard table. A zinc penny makes a dull, flat sound. It sounds dead. It sounds cheap. But a copper penny rings. It sings. It makes a high-pitched, musical tone. That ring is the sound of solid metal. That ring is the sound of value. Now, let us talk about money. What is this coin worth? In circulated condition, even if it has been passed through a million hands, the 1989 copper penny with no mint mark is worth a significant premium. Collectors fight over this coin. They need it for their collections. They are willing to pay hundreds of dollars for a circulated example. But if you find one in uncirculated condition, if you find one that still has the bright, shiny, red luster from the day it was struck, the value skyrockets. We are talking about thousands of dollars. We are talking about a coin that could sell for $5,000, $10,000, even more at a major auction. Think about that for a moment. A coin that says 1 cent on it. A coin that most people throw away. It could be worth more than a month of hard work. It could pay your rent. It could pay your medical bills. It could be the down payment on a car. All from a penny. All from a mistake. All from knowing what to look for. And here is the best part. This coin is still out there. It is still in circulation. It is still being spent at face value by people who have no idea what they have. It is in bank rolls. It is in grocery store change. It is in parking meters. It is in the jar on top of the fridge. It is everywhere. And it is nowhere. It is hidden among the billions of zinc pennies. And only the people with knowledge will find it. You now have that knowledge. You are no longer blind. You are no longer one of the masses who throws away treasure. You are a hunter. You are a seeker. You are part of an elite group who knows the secrets. But I have to warn you. Do not clean this coin if you find it. This is very important. Do not polish it. Do not scrub it. Do not use any chemicals. Do not use a pencil eraser. Cleaning a coin destroys the original surface. It leaves tiny scratches. It removes the natural patina. It can turn $1,000 coin into a $10 coin. You want the coin exactly as it is. You want the age. You want the history. You want the original skin. If you find a 1989 copper penny, put it in a safe place. A coin holder. A plastic flip. Do not touch the surface with your fingers. Handle it by the edges. Then, take it to a professional. A coin dealer. Ask them to verify the weight. Ask them to verify the metal. If they confirm it is copper, you have a decision to make. You can keep it. You can sell it. You can pass it down to your children. If you decide to sell it, get it graded. Send it to PCGS or NGC. These are the top coin grading companies in the world. They will authenticate it. They will grade it. They will seal it in a hard plastic slab. Once it is slabbed, it is official. It is protected. It is worth top dollar. Now, let me speak to you directly. I know why you are here. You are not here for silly entertainment. You are here because you want to improve your life. You are here because you understand that the economy is shaky. Prices are rising. Savings are losing value. You need something real. Something you can hold. Something that will never be worth zero. The 1989 copper penny with no mint mark is real. It is physical. It is made of copper, a metal that has been valuable for thousands of years. It is also a rare collectible. That is a double layer of value. Intrinsic value and collectible value. That is the perfect combination. And you can find it for just 1 cent. This is the greatest treasure hunt in America today. It is not in the mountains. It is not in the ocean. It is in your pocket. It is in your change. It is in every cash register in the country. Think about the people who have already found this coin. They are ordinary people. A woman in Florida found one in a roll of pennies from her credit union. A man in Michigan found one in his truck's cup holder. A child found one in a parking lot. They were not special. They were just paying attention. They knew the weight. They knew the edge. They knew the ring. Now you know too. You have been given the secret. The question is, what will you do with it? Will you forget it? Will you go back to ignoring your change? Or will you start the hunt? Will you start weighing your pennies? Will you start checking the edges? Will you start listening for the ring? I believe in you. I know you will do the right thing. I know you will start searching. Because you are here. You watched this video to the end. That tells me you are serious. That tells me you are ready. This channel, The Hidden Coin Authority, is here to guide you. We are here to reveal the secrets that others hide. We are here to show you the treasures that are sitting right under your nose. And we will keep revealing them. We will keep digging. We will keep finding the coins that matter. The 1989 copper penny with no mint mark is one of those coins. It is a legend. It is a mystery. It is a fortune waiting to be claimed. And it could be yours. So, here is your mission. After this video, go find your pennies. All of them. Sort them by date. Pull out the 1989s. Weigh them. Check the edges. Drop them on the table. Listen. If one of them weighs 3.1 grams, if one of them has a solid copper edge, if one of them rings like a bell, you have found the ghost. You have found the impossible coin. You have found the 1989 copper penny with no mint mark. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Start today. The coin is out there. It is waiting. It could be in your next handful of change. It could be in your pocket right now. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of this community. You are the reason we do this. You are the reason we share these secrets. Stay tuned for the next video. It will be even more shocking. It will reveal a coin that has been hidden from the public for decades. A coin that the government does not want you to know about. But that is a story for another day. For now, focus on the 1989. Focus on the copper. Focus on the no mint mark. Go find your treasure. Good luck, and happy hunting. What if I told you that one of the most overlooked pennies in American history could still be sitting somewhere in a collection, an old jar, a forgotten drawer, or even a box of coins that has been passed down for generations? And what makes this story especially interesting is that we are talking about a 1964 copper penny with no mint mark. Now, before you dismiss that as just another old penny, stay with me, because there is something very important every collector should understand about this coin. The first mistake people make is assuming that an old coin automatically means a rare coin. The second mistake is even more dangerous, assuming that a coin with no mint mark must have something unusual about it. The truth is much more fascinating. In 1964, the United States Mint produced enormous numbers of Lincoln cents, and pennies struck at Philadelphia carried no mint mark. That means a 1964 penny without a mint mark is not automatically a rare error, and it is certainly not automatically a fortune. But here is where the story changes. A coin can be common in one condition and dramatically more interesting in another. A coin can look ordinary at first glance and still deserve a much closer examination. And sometimes, the smallest details are exactly what separate an everyday old penny from a coin collectors actually want to investigate. So before you put that 1964 penny back into a jar, look at it differently. Do not ask only, how old is it? Ask, what exactly am I holding? Because with coins, the date is only the beginning of the story. Let us go back to 1964 for a moment, because understanding the history makes this penny far more interesting. The Lincoln cent had been around for decades by then, and the United States was producing pennies in enormous quantities. The familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln appeared on the obverse, while the reverse carried the wheat ears design until 1958 and the Lincoln Memorial design beginning in 1959. So by 1964, the memorial reverse was already part of the everyday American experience. And the composition matters. The 1964 Lincoln cent was made primarily from a bronze alloy containing copper, which is why many surviving examples have that warm brown, reddish, or copper appearance that collectors immediately recognize. Philadelphia coins did not receive a mint mark, while cents from Denver carried a small d. That little absence is important, but it should not be misunderstood. No mint mark does not mean secret mint. It does not automatically mean rare. It simply tells you that the coin was struck at Philadelphia. Yet that simple fact becomes useful when you are checking a coin for something genuinely unusual. Now look at the date. Is the 1964 clearly visible? Are the digits shaped normally? Is there anything unusual around them? Look at the word Liberty. Are the letters sharp, or are they worn almost smooth? Look at "In God We Trust." Is the lettering complete? Then turn the coin over. The memorial building should immediately look familiar, but now slow down. Look at the columns. Look at the lettering. Look around the rim. Look at the surfaces. A collector does not examine a coin for just 1 second and decide its fate. A collector learns to notice what other people overlook. And now we reach the part that can make an ordinary 1964 penny genuinely worth investigating: condition and abnormalities. Think about how many times a coin like this may have changed hands. It could have been carried in a pocket, dropped on a sidewalk, rubbed against other coins, stored in a drawer, or left untouched for decades. Every one of those experiences leaves a trace. That is why 2 pennies with the exact same date and mint mark can look completely different to a collector. One may be heavily worn, dark, scratched, and damaged. Another may have unusually strong details and attractive original surfaces. And then there is the possibility of a minting error. This is where you must be careful, because the internet is filled with dramatic claims about ordinary pennies supposedly being worth thousands or even millions. Do not believe every number you see. A scratch is not automatically an error. A stain is not automatically an error. A damaged rim is not automatically a mint mistake. A doubled-looking letter is not automatically a valuable double die. Real errors and varieties have specific characteristics, and serious collectors look for evidence rather than excitement. On a 1964 cent, examine the date, lettering, rim, devices, and surfaces under good lighting. Compare what you see with reliable photographs and established references. If something looks genuinely different, do not clean the coin. This is extremely important. Cleaning can permanently damage the original surface and may reduce collector interest. Instead, protect the coin and have the unusual feature examined properly. And remember this: the most valuable discovery is not always the coin with the biggest headline. Sometimes the real discovery is learning to identify what is authentic and what is simply damage. That knowledge can stay with you for every coin you ever examine. So, if you have a 1964 copper penny with no mint mark, here is the simple lesson I want you to remember. Do not throw it away just because someone tells you it is common, but do not assume you have found a fortune simply because it is old and made of copper. Look at the entire coin. Check the date. Check the mint mark area. Study the lettering. Examine the memorial reverse. Look closely for unusual doubling, striking characteristics, missing details, abnormal shapes, or other features that appear to be part of the original minting process rather than damage that happened later. Then consider the condition. Is the coin heavily worn, or does it retain unusually strong detail? Does it have original-looking surfaces, or has it been cleaned, scratched, polished, or damaged? These details matter. And there is one final reason I want you to look at your old pennies before giving up on them. Coins are more than objects with numbers printed on them. They are tiny pieces of history that have passed through millions of hands. Someone may have received this very type of penny as change when the world looked completely different. Someone may have put one away without realizing that decades later another person would examine it and wonder about its story. That is the beauty of coin collecting. You are not simply searching for money. You are searching for the details that everyone else ignored. So the next time a 1964 no-mint mark Lincoln cent appears in front of you, pause before putting it aside. Give it a real examination. Because the date may be common, but your ability to recognize what is actually unusual is what makes you a collector. And if you have a 1964 penny sitting somewhere right now, take another look. You may not have $1 million coin, and I will never promise you something that the evidence does not support. But you might have a coin with a story, a fascinating variety, an interesting condition, or a genuine feature worth investigating. And sometimes, in this hobby, the most exciting moment is not finding a fortune. It is realizing that you almost overlooked something worth knowing about. Before you put that 1970 Lincoln penny back into a jar, stop for just a moment, because the tiny detail most people completely ignore is exactly where this coin gets interesting. You are looking at a 1970 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark, and at first glance, it may seem like nothing more than another old cent. But experienced collectors know that a coin should never be judged by its age alone. The date, the mint mark, the condition, the strike, the color, and especially the tiny details around the lettering can completely change the story. A 1970 penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, so the missing mint mark by itself is not an error. That is the first thing you need to understand. But don't stop there. The reason 1970 Lincoln cents continue to attract attention is that this year has several details and varieties that can make collectors look much more carefully. And there is one particular area you absolutely do not want to overlook, the date. Look closely at the 1, the 9, the 7, and especially the 0. Tiny differences in the appearance of the digits can matter when identifying varieties. This is why I always say that coin collecting rewards patience, not guessing. Anyone can look at a penny and see Lincoln. A collector looks at the coin and starts asking questions. What happened when this coin was struck? What condition did it survive in? Is the color original? Are the details unusually sharp? Is there anything that appears to be part of the die rather than damage that happened later? Those questions can turn a 5-second glance into a genuine investigation. Now let's take a closer look at what makes the 1970 Lincoln cent such an interesting coin to study. By 1970, the Lincoln Memorial cent had already become an everyday part of American life, and millions upon millions of these coins entered circulation. Philadelphia cents carried no mint mark, while Denver cents carried a small d. That means when you see a 1970 penny without a mint mark, the absence itself is normal. But normal does not mean you should stop looking. The first thing I want you to examine is the overall condition. A heavily circulated example may have flattened details, scratches, discoloration, and wear across Lincoln's hair and cheek. A better preserved example can show much stronger definition and may attract more collector interest. Then turn your attention to the reverse. Look carefully at the Lincoln Memorial, the lettering, the rim, and the spaces between the devices. Don't rush. Coins often reveal their secrets through tiny details that disappear when you look too quickly. And there is another detail that makes 1970 cents especially worth examining, the date varieties associated with this year. Some 1970 Lincoln cents are known with different appearances in the date, including varieties involving the shape and spacing of the digits. If you have ever heard collectors talk about the small date and large date varieties of 1970 cents, understand that this is an important distinction, but don't automatically apply the same label to every 1970 penny without a mint mark. The mint mark matters. The exact coin matters. identification must come before valuation. This is where many online videos go wrong. They show one valuable variety and make it sound like every 1970 penny is worth a fortune. That's not how serious collecting works. Your coin has to match the characteristics of the specific variety. And now comes the part that can save you from making one of the biggest mistakes a coin owner can make. If your 1970 no mint mark penny looks unusual, don't clean it. Don't polish it. Don't rub it with a cloth. Don't use chemicals. Don't try to make the copper shine. A collector wants to see the coin's original surfaces, and aggressive cleaning can leave scratches or unnatural surfaces that permanently affect the coin's desirability. Instead, handle it carefully by the edges and examine it under good lighting. If you see something that looks like doubling, remember that not every blurry or shadow-like feature is a true double die. Machine doubling, circulation damage, scratches, and other forms of post-mint damage can create appearances that look dramatic but have little collector value. The same principle applies to the rim. A strange-looking edge is not automatically a mint error. You need to determine whether the feature was created during striking or happened afterward. And if the coin has an unusual color, don't assume color alone makes it rare. Lincoln cents can change appearance because of storage, oxidation, environmental exposure, cleaning, or other factors. The strongest approach is simple: observe first, identify second, value third. Never reverse those steps. A coin becomes interesting because the evidence supports the story, not because somebody placed an enormous price tag beside a photograph on the internet. So here's the real reason I want you to remember the 1970 no mint mark Lincoln penny. It teaches you exactly how a serious collector thinks. You don't need to believe every unbelievable story you hear. You don't need to assume every old penny is secretly worth thousands. And you don't need expensive equipment to begin. What you need is patience, a good light, careful eyes, and the willingness to examine the details other people ignore. Check the date. Confirm the absence of a mint mark. Study the condition. Look for genuine varieties and mint-made abnormalities. Compare questionable features with trustworthy references. And if something truly unusual appears, preserve the coin instead of trying to improve it yourself. Because the most valuable skill in this hobby isn't guessing the highest possible price. It's knowing when a coin deserves a second look. That is what makes an ordinary pocket change discovery exciting. A 1970 Lincoln penny may have passed through someone's hands more than half a century ago, traveled through stores, pockets, cash registers, and drawers, and eventually ended up in yours. Maybe it is simply a common circulated cent. Maybe it has an interesting variety. Maybe the condition is better than expected. Or maybe you will discover a feature that deserves a professional opinion. You won't know until you look. So the next time you see a 1970 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, don't just see an old penny. See a small piece of American history waiting to be examined. And before you put it away, look at that date one more time. Sometimes the smallest details are the ones that make you stop and look twice. Stop before you spend that 1972 Lincoln penny. Look at it one more time, because there is a reason experienced collectors can stare at a coin that looks completely ordinary to everyone else. A 1972 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark may look like just another old cent, but this particular year deserves a much closer examination. And there is one mistake I don't want you to make. Do not see the words, "no mint mark," and immediately assume you have discovered an error. A 1972 Lincoln cent without a mint mark was struck at Philadelphia, where cents normally carried no mint mark. So the missing mint mark itself is not the treasure. The real question is what else is hiding on the coin. Start with the date. Look at every digit individually. Then study Liberty and In God We Trust. Turn the coin over and examine the Lincoln Memorial, the lettering, the rim, and the surfaces. Why? Because 1972 is one of those years that can make collectors slow down and look much more carefully. There is a famous 1972 double die obverse variety that collectors actively search for, and this is where the story gets serious. But don't get fooled by internet hype. A coin merely looking doubled is not enough. A true double die has specific characteristics, and the strongest examples show noticeable doubling in areas such as the lettering and date. That means your job is not to guess. Your job is to investigate. And if you happen to have a genuine 1972 double-die obverse, suddenly this ordinary-looking cent becomes a very different conversation. So don't skip ahead yet. The details are the entire story. Now imagine this coin sitting in a drawer for decades. Perhaps someone received it as change and thought nothing of it. Perhaps it was placed in a collection because the owner liked old pennies. Or perhaps it was mixed into a jar with hundreds of other cents and forgotten. That's what makes searching these coins so fascinating. You are looking at something that was produced more than half a century ago, and the difference between an ordinary example and a collectible variety can sometimes come down to tiny features that are easy to miss. First, confirm the date, 1972. Next, confirm the mint mark area. If there is no mint mark beneath the date, that points toward Philadelphia. Then look at the condition. A heavily circulated coin with scratches, flattened details, and environmental damage is going to tell a very different story from a sharply preserved example. But condition is only one part of the investigation. Now concentrate on the obverse. Don't just look at Lincoln's portrait. Study the lettering. Examine liberty. Examine "In God We Trust." Examine the digits of the date. True double-die characteristics can appear as distinct separation or doubling in specific design elements, while ordinary wear, machine doubling, or damage can create misleading shapes. This distinction is incredibly important. A blurry edge does not automatically mean doubling. A shadow next to a letter does not automatically mean a rare variety. And a scratch running beside a number does not suddenly transform a common penny into a valuable error. Serious collectors learn to separate genuine mint varieties from damage that happened after the coin left the mint. That is the difference between searching randomly and actually knowing what you're looking for. And here's where you need to be especially careful with your 1972 penny. If you think you see doubling, do not clean the coin to make the details easier to see. Do not scrape it. Do not polish it. Do not use chemicals. Do not rub the surface with anything abrasive. A coin's original surface is part of its history, and cleaning can permanently damage it. Instead, protect the penny and examine it under good lighting, preferably with magnification. Compare the suspected doubling with reliable references that show the known characteristics of the 1972 double-die obverse. Look at multiple design elements rather than relying on one strange-looking letter. Ask yourself whether the feature appears raised and integrated into the design, or whether it looks like a scratch, flattening, or surface damage. This is where patience pays off. If the evidence does not match a known variety, don't force it. One of the biggest traps in coin collecting is wanting a coin to be rare so badly that every unusual mark starts looking valuable. The smarter approach is the opposite. Be skeptical. Let the coin prove itself. If it matches a recognized variety, then you have something genuinely worth researching further. If it doesn't, you may still have an interesting old cent, but you won't be fooled by an exaggerated claim. And remember, value depends on the exact variety, condition, color, eye appeal, and the marketplace. No honest collector can promise that every 1972 penny is worth hundreds or thousands. The coin must actually qualify. So here is the final lesson I want you to take away from this 1972 no mint mark Lincoln penny. The absence of a mint mark is normal for Philadelphia cents, but the year itself deserves attention because of the important varieties associated with 1972. If you have one, don't throw it away, but don't let anyone convince you that every 1972 penny is a jackpot either. Examine the date. Study the lettering. Check the known double-die characteristics. Inspect the condition. Look for genuine mint-made features instead of damage. And if something seems truly unusual, preserve the coin exactly as it is and consider getting a knowledgeable second opinion. Because this is what makes coin collecting so addictive. The coin doesn't have to scream for attention. It can sit quietly in your hand while one tiny detail changes everything you thought you knew about it. Think about that for a moment. A penny that could have been spent without a second thought decades ago may now be sitting in front of someone who finally knows what to look for. Maybe yours is simply a common 1972 Philadelphia cent. Maybe it's unusually well preserved. Or maybe, After careful examination, you discover characteristics consistent with one of the varieties collectors have been searching for. There is only one way to find out. Take that 1972 penny, slow down, and look again. Because in this hobby, the people who find the most interesting coins are often not the people who search the fastest. They are the people who notice what everyone else overlooks. Before you put that 1973 Lincoln penny back with the rest of your coins, take a second look, because this is exactly the kind of coin that can fool you by looking completely ordinary. A 1973 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark was struck at Philadelphia, so the absence of a mint mark is normal. That detail alone does not make the coin rare. But that does not mean you should ignore it. The real story is in the details most people never bother to examine. Look at the date. Look closely at the shape of every digit. Study the word liberty. Examine "In God We Trust." Then turn the coin over and look carefully at the Lincoln Memorial, the lettering, the rim, and the overall surfaces. A coin from 1973 has already survived more than half a century, and every year of circulation could have left something behind. Maybe the coin is heavily worn. Maybe it has surprisingly strong details. Maybe it has unusual toning. Or maybe there is a feature that deserves a much closer investigation. And this is where I want you to think differently. Don't ask, is a 1973 penny valuable? Ask, what exact 1973 penny do I have? That one question separates casual searching from serious collecting. Millions of cents were produced, and most 1973 Philadelphia cents are common. But collectors know that varieties, mint errors, condition, and unusual characteristics can change the story. So if you have one in your collection, don't judge it in the first few seconds. Give the coin your full attention. Because sometimes the most interesting part of an old penny is the detail that almost nobody notices. Let's examine this coin the way a careful collector would. First, confirm the date is actually 1973. Then check directly below the date. If there is no mint mark, that is consistent with a Philadelphia strike. Don't confuse that normal characteristic with a missing mint mark error. A true missing mint mark situation would require a very different set of circumstances, and you should never assume an error simply because a letter isn't there. Next, examine the condition. Is Lincoln's hair still sharply defined? Are the cheek and jaw details visible? Does the rim remain complete? On the reverse, are the memorial columns clearly defined? Is the lettering strong? Are there scratches, dents, discoloration, or signs of cleaning? These details help tell the story of what happened to the coin after it left the mint. Now slow down around the date and lettering. Collectors sometimes discover unusual die characteristics, doubling, die cracks, or other mint-made features, but you need to distinguish those from ordinary damage. A scratch can cross a number and make it look distorted. A flattened area can create the appearance of extra metal. Machine doubling can make letters appear strangely widened or flattened. None of those automatically means you have a valuable double die. Genuine varieties have recognizable characteristics, and the strongest approach is always comparison. If something catches your eye, compare the exact feature with trusted references and known examples. Don't let a dramatic photograph online convince you that every unusual mark is worth a fortune. Coin collecting becomes much more rewarding when you learn how to prove what you're seeing. Now here is something I want every collector to remember when examining a 1973 penny: never destroy the evidence. If the coin looks unusual, leave it alone. Do not polish it. Do not scrub it. Do not put it in vinegar. Do not use metal cleaner. Do not try to make the copper brighter. Cleaning can leave permanent marks and can seriously affect collector appeal. Instead, hold the coin by its edges and examine it under strong, even lighting. If necessary, use magnification. Look at the suspected feature from different angles. Does it appear raised in a way that belongs to the design, or does it look like damage cutting into the surface? Does the same unusual characteristic appear consistently across multiple parts of the design? Is the rim normal? Does the coin have a natural appearance, or does it show signs of polishing? These questions matter because a rare coin is valuable for a reason. You don't create rarity by finding a strange mark. You identify rarity by matching the evidence to a recognized variety or mint error. And if you discover something that genuinely looks unusual, the smartest move is to preserve it and seek an informed opinion rather than immediately selling it to the first person who makes a big promise. Remember, a trustworthy collector or professional will want to examine the coin itself and understand exactly what makes it unusual. They won't need to rely on exaggerated internet headlines. That is the difference between real numismatic research and clickbait. So, what should you remember if you have a 1973 Lincoln penny with no mint mark? Remember that the missing mint mark is normal for Philadelphia. Remember that the coin's condition can matter. Remember that genuine varieties and mint errors require evidence. Remember that damage is not the same thing as rarity. And most importantly, remember to look before you decide. A 1973 penny may have been passed from hand to hand for decades, forgotten in a drawer, dropped into a jar, or saved by someone who simply liked the way old pennies looked. Now it has ended up in your hands. You may have nothing more than a common circulated cent, and that's perfectly fine. Or you may have a coin with an interesting characteristic that deserves further investigation. The exciting part is that you don't have to guess. You can examine it. You can compare it. You can learn. And that is what makes this hobby so powerful. The real treasure is not simply finding a coin that somebody online claims is worth an unbelievable amount. The real treasure is developing the knowledge to recognize when a coin truly deserves attention. So the next time a 1973 no mint mark Lincoln cent appears in your collection, don't toss it aside just because it looks ordinary. Turn it over. Look at the date again. Study the lettering. Examine the surfaces. And then look one more time. Because the difference between an ordinary penny and an interesting discovery can sometimes be smaller than the width of a single letter. Before you spend that 1980 Lincoln penny, stop and look at it one more time, because a coin that seems completely ordinary can become surprisingly interesting when you know exactly where to look. You are holding a 1980 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark, and the first thing you need to understand is this: no mint mark does not automatically mean rare. A 1980 Lincoln cent without a mint mark was struck at Philadelphia, so the absence of a mint mark is normal. But that is only the beginning of the investigation. The real question is, what condition is this coin in, and does it have any genuine characteristics that separate it from the millions of other cents produced that year? Look closely at the date. Study each digit. Examine liberty. Look at "In God We Trust." Then turn the coin over and inspect the Lincoln Memorial, the columns, the lettering, and the rim. Don't rush past these details. A coin collector doesn't simply ask how old a penny is. A collector asks what happened to that penny, how it was made, how it survived, and whether anything about it is different. By 1980, Lincoln cents had been circulating for decades, and many examples experienced heavy wear, scratches, environmental exposure, or cleaning. That means a sharply preserved 1980 cent can tell a very different story from one that spent years in circulation. And this is where your coin deserves a closer look. Not because every 1980 penny is secretly worth a fortune, but because careful examination can reveal details that an ordinary glance completely misses. Now let's examine the coin step by step, because this is where collectors separate fact from internet hype. First, confirm the date, 1980. Then check the area beneath the date. If there is no mint mark, that points toward Philadelphia. A Philadelphia cent normally has no mint mark, so don't mistake that for a missing letter error. Next, examine the condition. Is Lincoln's hair still detailed? Are the lines around his face and jaw visible? Is the rim complete and well defined? On the reverse, look at the memorial building. Are the columns clear? Is the lettering strong? Does the coin show scratches, dents, stains, or unnatural surfaces? Now focus on the areas where unusual features could appear. Look at the date and lettering for signs of doubling, but be extremely careful. Not every apparent second image is a double die. Machine doubling, die deterioration, scratches, and circulation damage can all create strange-looking edges. A true double die variety has specific characteristics that should be consistent with the known variety, not just a random blurry edge on one letter. This is why magnification can help, but knowledge matters even more. If something catches your eye, don't immediately declare the coin rare. Compare it with reliable examples. Look at the same design area on known normal coins. Ask whether the feature looks like part of the original die or something that happened after the coin was struck. That simple habit can prevent you from making expensive mistakes and can make you a much smarter collector. And there is one rule I want you to remember every time you discover a coin that looks unusual: protect the evidence. Never polish your 1980 penny just because you think a shinier surface will make it more valuable. Never scrub it with a cloth. Never use household chemicals or metal cleaners. Never try to scrape away discoloration. Copper coins can be extremely sensitive to cleaning, and artificial brightness can actually hurt collector appeal. Instead, handle the coin by its edges and inspect it under good lighting. If you see an unusual mark, study it from multiple angles. If you suspect doubling, look for separation and shape across multiple design elements rather than relying on one questionable letter. If you see a crack, unusual rim, or strange-looking surface, determine whether it could have happened during minting or after the coin entered circulation. This distinction is everything. A coin with damage is not automatically an error coin. A stained coin is not automatically a rare coin. And a coin with no mint mark is not automatically a Philadelphia error. The strongest collectors don't chase the biggest number. They chase the truth. That's why reliable identification comes before valuation. Once you know exactly what the coin is, then you can investigate its market history, condition, and collector demand. Until then, any price estimate is little more than a guess. So if you have a 1980 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark, what should you do? Keep it if you enjoy collecting it, and examine it carefully before deciding whether it deserves further attention. Confirm the date. Confirm the Philadelphia-style absence of a mint mark. Study the condition. Check the date, lettering, rim, and memorial reverse for genuine mint-made abnormalities. Compare anything unusual against trustworthy references. And if something truly stands out, preserve the coin exactly as you found it and consider getting a knowledgeable second opinion. Because the real lesson of the 1980 penny isn't that every old cent is a hidden fortune. The real lesson is that knowledge changes what you see. Someone else may glance at this coin and see 1 cent. A collector sees a piece of American history that has survived for more than 4 decades. It may have traveled through stores, pockets, cash registers, cars, homes, and collections before finally reaching you. Maybe it is a completely ordinary circulated penny. Maybe it has better than average preservation. Maybe it has an unusual feature. You won't know until you look closely. So the next time you find a 1980 no mint mark Lincoln cent, don't immediately throw it into the pile with every other penny. Slow down. Examine the date. Study the surfaces. Turn it over. Look at the memorial. Then look again. Because in coin collecting, the people who discover the most interesting details are often the ones willing to spend an extra minute examining the coin everyone else already decided was ordinary. Before you dismiss that 1988 Lincoln penny as just another common cent, stop for a moment and look at the one detail most people overlook: the mint mark. A 1988 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark was struck at Philadelphia, so the absence of a mint mark by itself does not make this coin rare. But that does not mean you should ignore it. In fact, 1988 is a year that deserves a careful examination because collectors know that small differences in a coin's design, strike, condition, and minting characteristics can completely change its significance. Start with the date. Make sure you really have a 1988 cent. Then look directly beneath the date. No mint mark points to Philadelphia. Now forget the price for a moment and examine the coin like a detective. Look at Lincoln's hair. Look at his cheek and jaw. Study liberty. Examine "In God We Trust." Then turn the coin over and inspect the Lincoln memorial, the lettering, the rim, and the surfaces. Ask yourself a simple question: does anything look different from a normal coin? This is where patience becomes valuable. A coin doesn't have to look spectacular to deserve attention. Sometimes the feature that matters is tiny. Sometimes it is a variety that only becomes obvious under magnification. And sometimes the coin is simply a normal example that has survived decades of circulation. The important thing is that you don't make the decision before you actually examine it. Because if you are searching through old pennies, the biggest mistake you can make is deciding a coin's story before you've looked closely enough to read it. Now let's slow down and examine what really matters on a 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. First, remember that Philadelphia cents normally carried no mint mark, so there is no mystery in that missing letter. The interesting questions come afterward. What condition is the coin in? Is it heavily circulated, or does it still have strong original detail? Are Lincoln's hairlines visible? Is the rim complete? Does the coin have scratches, dents, stains, corrosion, or signs of cleaning? On the reverse, examine the memorial building carefully. Look at the columns, the lettering, and the spaces around the design. Then return to the obverse and study the date and lettering for unusual characteristics. You may hear people online talk about doubled dates or doubled lettering, but don't assume that every extra-looking edge is a valuable doubled die. A coin can develop strange shapes from machine doubling, die wear, circulation damage, or contact with other coins. Real varieties require proper identification. That means comparing the feature against known examples and looking for characteristics that are consistent with a recognized variety. This is especially important because one of the easiest ways to turn an ordinary penny into an imaginary fortune is to photograph a damaged coin under harsh lighting and call every irregularity an error. Don't fall into that trap. A serious collector wants evidence. If something looks unusual, investigate it. If it doesn't match a recognized variety, don't force the conclusion. Sometimes the smartest answer is simply that the coin is normal. And now comes a rule that can protect your coin from one of the most common collector mistakes. If your 1988 penny looks unusual, do not clean it. Don't polish it until it shines. Don't rub it with a rough cloth. Don't use vinegar, chemicals, metal cleaner, or household products. Don't scrape dark areas away. The original surface is part of the coin's history, and improper cleaning can leave permanent damage that collectors may consider undesirable. Instead, hold the penny carefully by the edges and examine it under good lighting. If you suspect doubling, use magnification and look at several design elements. Does the feature appear integrated into the design? Does it have the characteristics of a genuine die variety? Or does it look like a scratch or flattening caused after the coin left the mint? If you notice an unusual rim, crack, or missing detail, ask the same question: was this created during the minting process, or did something happen to the coin later? That distinction is critical. A damaged coin can look dramatic, but dramatic does not mean rare. A genuine mint error can be subtle, but subtle does not mean worthless. The goal is not to find the most exciting explanation. The goal is to find the correct explanation. Once you know what you actually have, then you can investigate its condition and collector demand. Until then, any huge price claim should be treated with caution. So if you have a 1988 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark, here's what I want you to do before you put it away. Confirm the date. Check the mint mark area and remember that Philadelphia cents normally have none. Examine Lincoln's portrait and the lettering. Study the date under magnification if necessary. Turn the coin over and inspect the memorial reverse, the rim, and the overall surfaces. Look for genuine mint-made characteristics rather than scratches, stains, or ordinary circulation damage. And if something truly unusual catches your eye, don't clean the coin or try to improve it. Preserve it exactly as you found it and compare it with reliable references or have it examined by someone experienced in Lincoln cents. Because here's what makes this hobby so fascinating: millions of coins can look almost identical, yet the right knowledge can make one coin worth investigating while another is simply pocket change. Your 1988 penny may be completely ordinary. It may simply be a Philadelphia cent that survived more than 35 years of everyday life. Or it may have a condition, variety, or mint-made characteristic that gives it a more interesting story. You cannot know from the date alone. So the next time you see a 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny, don't just glance at it and move on. Slow down. Look at Lincoln. Look at the date. Look at the lettering. Turn it over. Examine the memorial. Then take one final look at the surfaces. Because sometimes the coin everyone else ignores is the coin that teaches you something you didn't know you were looking for. Before you throw that 1989 Lincoln penny into a jar with the rest, stop for just a few seconds, because there is a reason collectors never judge a coin simply by looking at its date. A 1989 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark may look like an ordinary 1-cent coin, and in most cases, that is exactly what it is. Philadelphia cents from 1989 normally carry no mint mark. So if yours has nothing beneath the date, don't immediately think you have discovered a missing mint mark error. But here's the part that makes this coin worth examining: the absence of a mint mark is only the beginning. The real question is, what else does this particular penny have? Look at the date. Study the shape of the numbers. Examine Liberty. Look carefully at "In God We Trust." Then turn it over and inspect the Lincoln Memorial, the columns, the lettering, and especially the rim. Don't rush. Give the coin a few extra seconds. Because after more than 3 decades of circulation, storage, and handling, every surviving example has its own story. Some are worn almost smooth. Some have scratches and discoloration. Others have surprisingly strong detail. And occasionally, a coin may show a genuine mint-made characteristic that deserves a closer investigation. The key is knowing the difference. You are not looking for a random mark and hoping it is valuable. You are looking for evidence. And that one change in mindset can completely transform the way you search through old pennies. Now let's examine the 1989 no mint mark cent the way a serious collector would. Start with the obvious: confirm that the date really says 1989. Then look underneath the date. If there is no mint mark, Philadelphia is the expected source. Next, examine the coin's condition. Look at Lincoln's hair, forehead, cheek, and jaw. Are the details sharp, or have years of circulation flattened them? Check the rim. Is it complete and even, or does it show signs of damage? Then flip the coin and study the memorial reverse. Look at the columns. Look at the lettering. Look around the edges. Now return to the obverse and carefully inspect the date and major lettering for anything unusual. You may see what appears to be doubling, but this is where you must slow down. A true double die is a specific mint variety. It is not simply a letter that looks blurry or a number with a strange shadow. Machine doubling, die wear, scratches, dents, and post-mint damage can all create appearances that look dramatic under magnification. This is why experienced collectors compare suspected varieties against known examples rather than relying on excitement. If the feature is real, it should have characteristics that make sense as part of the original die. If it looks like something happened to the coin after striking, the explanation may be much simpler. That doesn't make the coin worthless as a keepsake, but it does mean you shouldn't believe an exaggerated price claim. In coin collecting, identification comes first and valuation comes second. And if your 1989 penny looks unusual, there is one thing I strongly want you to avoid: cleaning it. Don't polish it. Don't scrub it. Don't use vinegar. Don't use metal cleaner. Don't scrape the surface. Don't try to make an old copper-colored cent look brand new. The original surface can carry important information about the coin, and harsh cleaning can permanently alter it. Instead, hold the coin carefully by its edges and examine it under good lighting. If you suspect doubling, look at several areas rather than focusing on one strange-looking letter. If you notice a crack, unusual rim, missing detail, or strange shape, ask whether it could have happened during the striking process or after the coin entered circulation. That question is far more important than simply asking whether the coin looks weird. A coin can be heavily damaged and look extremely unusual while having little added collector value. On the other hand, a genuine mint error can sometimes be surprisingly subtle. That's why patience is your advantage. You don't need to rush to a conclusion. You need to observe, compare, and verify. And if something truly stands out, preserve the coin and consider having it examined by someone knowledgeable about Lincoln cents. A trustworthy evaluation should be based on the actual characteristics of the coin, not on a dramatic headline promising an enormous payout. So, what should you remember when you find a 1989 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark? Remember that the missing mint mark is normal for Philadelphia. Remember that condition matters. Remember that genuine errors and varieties must be identified by their specific characteristics. Remember that scratches, stains, machine doubling, and circulation damage are not automatically valuable errors. And most importantly, remember to look before you decide. That 1989 penny may have been used in everyday life more than 30 years ago. It could have passed through a grocery store, a cash register, someone's pocket, a car, a drawer, and eventually your collection. Maybe it is a completely normal circulated cent. Maybe it has better preservation than most examples you encounter. Maybe you notice a feature worth researching. Whatever the answer is, the discovery begins with curiosity. So take that 1989 no mint mark penny and give it one careful examination. Check the date. Study the lettering. Inspect the memorial. Look at the rim. Examine the surfaces. And then ask yourself the question every good collector learns to ask: what am I actually looking at? Because a coin doesn't have to be rare to be fascinating. And sometimes, the smallest detail is enough to turn an ordinary penny into a discovery worth remembering.